GM is an irreversible technology. If you lose a life form because of genetic modification, you use some sort of transgene which can spread, contaminate the original version of that plant or animal, and you lose that, that's really quite some loss, and it's a big step. So I wish there was a little bit more sense put and more science put into testing GMOs. With GMOs, the testing is very much touching only the surface of things. The most important questions of more or less life and death, really, is how GMOs will affect our ability to reproduce, our ability to remain healthy. And there are evidence, or you got it, there are papers in the scientific literature indicating that there are problems with GMOs and reproduction. I know those studies are not perfectly done, but they are warning us that there might be something. But the companies, the regulators, do not want any of those studies. What I am thinking of, there is a Russian professor called Ermakova who studied the reproductive function of rats after feeding them Roundup Ready soy. What she did, she started to feed the animals before mating, during pregnancy and after. And what she found, that several of the pups died earlier and they didn't grow as well as on non-GM soy. Okay, as I said, there are problems with the study. None of them is perfect. In fact, there is no perfect experiment which cannot be proved on. There was another reproductive study performed by an Austrian research consortium, and they studied reproduction of feeding GM maize to mice. And what they found, that after the third, fourth generation, the number of pups were less. And if they put pressure on the reproduction and mated the same couple of animals several times, after the third, fourth mating, there were less pups produced, they were smaller in weight and less healthy. Okay, there again we were told that this study is not well performed, but there are warning signs. There was another paper which just appeared last month in the scientific literature by Professor Cerolini. He studied NK603 GM maize, which is a Roundup Ready maize variety, and what he found, that both the Roundup and the GM and the combination of the two induced tumors in the animals earlier than it would normally appear. So it would be absolutely essential that before a GMO released to the food chain, and it's a little bit late for that now, they would properly test what are its long-term effects on our health, our ability to resist disease, or whether they will actually help and promote cancer development or development of any other disease in the population in general. Will it affect human reproductive function? If it does, what about future generation? What are we going to tell them? Why did we do that to them? So these are absolutely basic questions. No one asks, no one wants to find the answer to. And if you think about it, it costs time, it costs lots of money to do this test, but it's still much cheaper than to try to correct something after a seriously big mistake has been made by feeding unsuitable food for humans and our animals.